I'm Miss Zoe Reyes, 21 years old. I call myself a writer, for now. I have an older brother. His name is Mr. Axel Reyes, 30 years old. He works at a big company after graduating from college. Our parents passed away in a car accident when I was in 9th grade. I fell into depression from the shock and became a hermit. As a result, I couldn't go to high school. Afterward, I went to a doctor and recovered, thanks to my brother's help. When our parents died, my brother had just started working after graduating from college. He faced a tough situation right away, but took care of me, even helping with the housework. I decided to start doing what I could, little by little, like cleaning my room, the house, and then laundry and cooking, regaining my daily life with my brother's help. Now, we live together in the house our parents left behind. We split housework, but since I mainly work from home, I'm in charge of preparing meals and shopping. Going out for groceries is a nice change of pace. I also find cooking enjoyable, coming up with menus and following recipes. So, I'm good at cooking. When I was a hermit, my brother bought me a laptop. "Take a look at the unknown world with this," he said, and I explored various worlds on the internet. I started wanting to visit places I found in photos and videos on video sharing sites and forums, and my brother took me there, or I went alone. Without my brother's support, I might still be a hermit. Eventually, I learned about remote work. Gradually, I began working and had more chances to go out, returning to a normal life. After our parents passed away, my brother became like a parent to me. He's both kind and strict, a person with a good balance. He studied hard, which is why he was able to get a job at a big company after attending a national university. 7 years have passed since he joined the company, and now he is a team leader. There was a change in my brother. He had always been shy around women, but as his friends got married one after another, he finally started dating someone he met through a friend's introduction. 2 years later, she proposed, and they decided to get married. One day, he invited me to meet someone over dinner. It was a Japanese-style restaurant. My brother shyly introduced the woman who would become my sister-in-law. Her name is Miss Nora Reyes. She graduated from the same university as my brother and is 2 years younger. She works as an office lady at a major food company. Her wavy, semi-long hair makes her look older than her age. "Nice to meet you. I'm Zoe, the sister. Please take care of my brother." "Likewise. I'm Miss Nora Reyes. You're such a cute sister. I always wanted a sister, so I'm really happy you'll become one," she said with a smile. She wore slightly heavy makeup, but she seemed like a lovely woman. Then, she asked about me. "Since Axel went to a good university, I assume you graduated from a decent one too, Zoe?" My brother answered for me. "Well, actually, Zoe didn't go to college. When our parents died in an accident, she was in 9th grade. She struggled with her mental health. It took her some time to recover. Of course, she can live a normal life now." "What? She was sick in 9th grade? So she couldn't attend high school either?" Nora seemed very surprised and pressed further. I added to my brother's explanations, since it was about me. "Yes, that's right. I caused trouble for my brother because of my illness. But thanks to him, I was able to recover. No amount of gratitude is enough for what he did." "I see. I understand now. Nora, my brother may look a bit older because of his struggles, but he has a great personality. Please look beyond appearances." "What are you talking about?" I tried to lighten the mood with a joke since the conversation became serious, but Nora didn't laugh. At the time, I thought Nora was moved by what my brother had done for me. From what I heard, Nora's parents both graduated from prestigious universities, and their entire family had attended college. Naturally, they had excellent grades and worked at well-known companies, with many in professional roles like doctors and lawyers. They were an impressive family. Nora's father was an executive at a major publishing company, and her mother was the president of a local women's association. Hearing that, I thought my brother was going to join a great family. Busy with work, my brother steadily prepared for the wedding. Seeing him happy made me happy too, and I helped out with various tasks. One day, I received a call on my smartphone. I was a little nervous about answering a call from an unknown person, but the number was displayed, so I answered. "Who is this?" "Zoe, I'm Nora's mother. Nice to meet you." To my surprise, the caller was Nora's mother, who would become my mother-in-law. "What can I do for you?" Feeling anxious, I asked, and she replied, "I heard from Nora the other day that you didn't attend high school and only graduated from middle school." I didn't know what she wanted to say, but I answered honestly. Yes, when my parents died in an accident, I suffered from mental health issues, and it took me a long time to fully recover. That's why I couldn't go to high school." "I sympathize with your situation, but the fact remains that you only have a middle school education, right?" "Yes." "I see. I have a favor to ask. Could you please not attend Axel and Nora's wedding ceremony? Actually, don't attend." "What do you mean?" I was taken aback by the sudden, outrageous request. "Axel and Nora both graduated from top universities, and my husband and I also graduated from college. Of course, all our relatives have college degrees." "Yes? What about it?" "You're not very smart, are you? No wonder you only finished middle school." With a sigh, my mother-in-law continued the conversation. "You see, as I mentioned earlier, our family is made up of elites. Graduating from college is a given, and we hold prestigious jobs like executives at big corporations, doctors, lawyers. These are the kind of impressive people attending the wedding." I began to understand what she was getting at. "So, we don't want you, a middle school graduate, at such an event. Actually, we'd rather you not come." "But I'm the sister of the groom and his only family. I can't just not attend." "Please don't come anyway. How could we introduce you, a middle school graduate, to our relatives without feeling embarrassed? Do you understand? Anyway, I've told you our wishes." How rude. After hanging up, I trembled with anger. The parents on the other side disliked me because of my middle school education, as they were too concerned with appearances and reputation. At least, I never thought of my life as embarrassing, and I believed that I didn't deserve to be looked down upon by others. But what if my presence made my brother unhappy? If I stepped back, my brother could have a happy marriage and a future beyond that. I've caused him a lot of trouble, so I want him to be happy, no matter what. I can't be the one to ruin that. But I also couldn't stand being dismissed. My thoughts were all jumbled up. I talked to my brother about the situation. He said, "Don't worry. You're my sister, my only family. Feel free to attend my wedding. I'll protect you, no matter what." "But if I cause trouble for you, I don't mind not attending." "There's no way you'll cause trouble. Zoe, you're my one and only sister. If I can't protect my sister, what kind of brother would I be?" "Thank you, brother." Encouraged by his words, I decided to attend the wedding. And on the day of the wedding, at the family introduction, when my uncle introduced me as our family representative, my sister-in-law's parents looked at me with disdain. My brother seemed to notice their attitude. At the reception, the seats for the bride and groom's families were at the back, facing the main table. I wondered if there might not be a seat prepared for me, but there was. As I sat down, I felt piercing stares. Sure enough, my mother-in-law was looking at me. She marched over to me and said, "Why are you here? I told you not to come because you'd be a disgrace to our family, didn't I?" "I am his real sister. There's no reason for me not to attend," I strongly replied, and she snapped back. "For a middle school graduate, you sure are insolent. Just remember this." Leaving those harsh words behind, my mother-in-law walked away. Soon, the bride and groom entered the room. Seeing my brother in a different atmosphere than usual, I couldn't help but smile. Nora was beautifully dressed and sparkling. As soon as the mediator finished speaking, my mother-in-law suddenly stood up and talked to the MC. Then, she grabbed the microphone and started speaking loudly. "Our family has all graduated from college and hold respectable jobs. I believe that Axel is a suitable person for our family. But there is one issue." She took a breath and continued. "It is his middle school graduate sister. She is an incredibly embarrassing presence in our family. We would like to ask the groom to sever ties with her. If he can't, we cannot allow this marriage." There was a commotion in the room, but my mother-in-law ignored it and turned to my brother. "Axel, can you swear to do that here? Swear to cut ties with this embarrassing middle school graduate sister and become a part of our excellent family." As if it were obvious, both the bride and father-in-law nodded. Then, with a triumphant look, she handed the microphone to my brother. Taking the microphone, my brother took a deep breath and answered, "Indeed, my sister is a middle school graduate, but she is my only blood relative, my family, since our parents have passed away. I can't sever ties with her. I apologize to all of you who have attended today, but I will cancel the marriage and consider this relationship with this family as non-existent. This is my answer." With that, my brother slammed the microphone down on the table and came straight to me. With a refreshed smile, he spoke to me. "Zoe, I'm sorry for causing trouble. There's no need for us to be here. Let's go home." Later, I heard from the relatives who attended that the reception was canceled because the groom left halfway through. The bride burst in tears, and her parents were scolded by the relatives and had to apologize on their hands and knees. They were also forced to return the gift money. Later, my uncle contacted my brother. He said that although his attitude at the reception wasn't praiseworthy, he would have severed ties with him if it had continued. He also offered to pay a suitable amount of consolation money and have the bride's side bear all the expenses for the ceremony, but my brother refused. He conveyed that he wanted a sincere apology for his sister rather than a monetary solution. After a while, a meeting was arranged at our home for post-settlement discussions. I made up my mind to show my former in-laws a thing or two. At the meeting, my ex-sister-in-law and her parents, a total of 3 people, came. They handed my brother some money as a gift, an inconvenience fee, and apologized for the rudeness at the reception. But it didn't feel like a sincere apology. There was a sense of reluctance. As for my ex-mother-in-law, she said things like, "We should have investigated more thoroughly. If we had, this wouldn't have happened," showing no sign of remorse. My ex-father-in-law also continued, "Axel should have told us about his sister in detail from the beginning. Then we wouldn't have ended up unhappy." Anger welled up inside me, and I carried out my prepared plan. "Ex-father-in-law, well, you're not really my stepfather anymore, but for convenience, I'll call you that. You work at Rainbow Publishing, right?" He glanced at me and said, "Yeah, I do."
I'm a director there. What about it?
He looked down on me. I work with Rainbow Publishing, but I can't bring myself to like a company where you are. I want to terminate the contract.
Is that all? I don't care. There are plenty of workers. It won't have any impact.
Understood. I'll quit immediately. And I'll sign a contract with your rival company.
Go ahead. Do as you please.
With my ex-father-in-law's arrogance and my peripheral vision, I called the editor at Rainbow Publishing and informed them about the contract termination. There was a commotion on the other end of the phone, but I only conveyed what I wanted to say and hung up. Then, I called the rival company and told them I wanted to proceed with the contract. Even after my call, my ex-father-in-law remained smug. My brother, unable to grasp the situation, looked around nervously. Eventually, a call came to my ex-father-in-law's smartphone.
Hello? It's me. Yeah. What? The president? What's going on?
Then, he suddenly whispered, and his face turned pale. After finishing the call, my ex-father-in-law turned to me and said,
Are you the popular author? Yes, Ray?
Well, yeah. Yes, Ray is my pen name for light novels. So what?
So, you mean our president said a popular author is breaking the contract with us, and it's my fault?
I just asked you if it was okay to terminate the contract. And you said it didn't matter. That's all there is to it. I said it calmly. You're an elite, right? Isn't it embarrassing for you to deal with a middle school dropout like me?
I'm sorry. I apologize. But can you reconsider terminating the contract?
Seeing my father-in-law's sudden change in attitude, my ex-sister-in-law asked curiously, "Why would you be so humble to a mere middle school dropout girl?"
Idiot! You're our publishing house's top author. If you leave, the damage to our company would be enormous. The president told me to take responsibility. At this rate, I'll be demoted.
What? Really?
Yeah. If that happens, it'll be too embarrassing to associate with our relatives. Please, do something.
My ex-sister-in-law and her parents were confused and turning against each other.
Please, can you reconsider?
It's impossible. The matter is settled, so please leave. My brother also sided with me.
Then, please leave as requested.
My brother and I smiled as we saw the three of them leave our house, shoulders slumped. After the three left, my brother said,
"You're a popular author? I didn't know that either."
Well, I used a pen name. When I posted a work I wrote last year online, it got good reviews. Rainbow Publishing offered me a contract. I've been making quite a bit of money, I explained proudly. My brother's smile brightened. It had been a long time since I'd seen him smile like that. And so, the broken engagement was resolved. My ex-sister-in-law seemed to be looking for another partner. But no one would approach her since the incident became widely known. She became reclusive and eventually quit her job. My ex-father-in-law, being blamed for my contract termination, was demoted to a regular employee. Unable to endure warehouse work, he resigned. My ex-mother-in-law was harshly criticized by her relatives for her disgraceful behavior at the wedding reception and was no longer recognized by her once proud and accomplished family. It serves them right. My new publisher supported me, and my popular work was turned into a comic. Its popularity rose again, and now there's a talk of an anime adaptation. My brother is burying the memory of the wedding as a dark history and working hard. I'm eagerly waiting for a wonderful person to impair my brother's life. At last, our days have returned to being peaceful. I'm still racking my brain over creating light novels, but I feel that the repetition of these days is happiness. I'm planning to go on a trip with my brother again, taking our late parents' house with us, who passed away in the accident.
While I was preparing dinner, I heard my husband's voice from the living room. Hey. Then, the sound of our son running. It seemed he was talking to our son, but it wasn't clear. What's up? I responded to the voice. Then my husband Evan replied, Polly, turn off the TV. You left the remote on the floor, didn't you? I said to Evan. What? So it's my fault now? That's how the argument between us started. Things escalated from there. My name is Emily. I'm 29, working part-time. My husband Evan works for a major company and is 5 years older than me. We met at a party organized by a friend. After dating for 2 years, we got married. Evan was a bit passive, but we seemed to get along peacefully and had a good connection. We were blessed with a child, a son named Polly, now 4 years old. I took maternity leave when Polly was born, but now I'm back to working full-time. Honestly, handling household chores after a full day of work is tough, but I persevered for Polly. His smile is what keeps me going. I pack up at work, say goodbye to my boss, and head home. Today, I got a bit late. I hurried to the car and drove to pick up Polly from daycare. After parking, I rushed to the daycare classroom and found Polly playing with his teacher. Seeing me, he came over with a smile. That melted away all my fatigue. I bid the teacher goodbye, and hand in hand with Polly, we smiled our way back to the car. Once home, the real rush begins. I have to start making dinner. Home at last! I open the door with Polly and find shoes scattered all around. I tidy them up and walk with Polly into the living room, where Evan is lying on the floor under the table watching TV. You're home already? Yeah, just had meetings today. He replies without taking his eyes off the TV. I half sigh, half laugh at the sight of him. Hey, did you do any housework? No. He responds nonchalantly, prompting a sigh from me. But you said the one who gets home first would do it. There was nothing to do. I retort, a bit irritated. Of course there is. What about the laundry drying in the bathroom? Oh, right. His clueless tone exasperates me. It's not just that. He keeps laughing at the TV. Hopeless, he's not listening. I start preparing dinner. Then I hear Evan shout, Hey! Huh? After a moment of silence, Polly starts crying. What's wrong? Polly turned off the TV. He must have left the remote on the floor. If you left it on the floor, of course Polly would step on it. What, so it's my fault? Evan retorts, sounding annoyed. Well, it can't be helped, right? No need to yell. Whatever. Evan walks off to another room. Really? Who's the child here? I continue with dinner, unbothered. Finally, dinner's ready, and I go to call Evan. Dinner's ready. Hey. No response. Is he ignoring me? That's what it seemed like. Then the door opens, and Evan comes out expressionless. He doesn't say a word to me. He just sits at the table and starts eating. Here we go again, I mutter to myself. Evan has this habit. When he's upset, he ignores people. It's really tiresome. I've been turning a blind eye, but it's honestly draining. I know it won't end unless I make the first move. Evan's just like that. Unaware, our son Polly says, Let's eat. He starts eating the curry I made. Curry's yummy, he says with a smile. It is, isn't it? I can't help but smile back. Hey, Daddy. Polly tries to talk to Evan. Evan doesn't respond at all. Unbelievably, he's even ignoring our son Polly. I'm irritated, but don't want to fight in front of Polly, so I hold back. Daddy's just thinking about work right now. That's right. Polly starts eating again, seemingly unbothered. There's more if you want seconds. Okay. Watching Polly's carefree smile is reassuring. I wonder if Evan remembers our plan to go to the aquarium the day after tomorrow. I'm really worried about it, but since we can't talk, there's no way to confirm. Feeling anxious, I decided to go to bed, as I was tired today. But the next day, Evan continued to ignore me. In the morning, he got up and left the room without a word, passing by me with a blank face. The air was tense from the start. It was a terrible morning. The situation always drags on. I could apologize to make him feel better, but I don't think I did anything wrong this time. I can't bring myself to apologize for something like that. It's unreasonable to take it out on Polly, even if it's his own fault. If I apologize now, I'll just end up bottling up my stress until I explode. Then Polly ran up and hugged Evan. And Evan said, "You stink. Don't talk to me." Stink? Who does? It's Polly. He's had an accident again. I thought it couldn't be true since Polly sleeps with me, but there was a smell. Oh, when did this happen? I changed Polly's clothes. But Evan shouting at Polly showed he was still in a bad mood. Evan rarely shouts, so I knew this wasn't a good sign. Evan got dressed and left for work. Tomorrow is the day we promised to go to the aquarium as a family. I tried to forget about Evan's mood and prepared for the aquarium trip. I wondered when Evan would come home today. That's what I was thinking. I decided to use the shark backpack with a zipper we bought at the aquarium last time for Polly's bag. "This is your bag, Polly." "Yay, it's cool." Polly's smile with the backpack on his back made me smile too. We were happily preparing. Still, there was no word from Evan. As night fell, he neither called nor came home. "Let's eat dinner, Polly. Daddy won't be back for a while." "Okay." We ate dinner without Evan. "Tomorrow is aquarium day," Polly said with a smile. "Yes, it is," I smiled back. Honestly, I didn't know what to do anymore, so I decided we go out, just the two of us. "Polly, let's go to the aquarium, just us tomorrow." "What about Daddy?" Polly looked puzzled. "Daddy seems to be busy with work." "Oh, I see. Okay." With no contact from Evan, I couldn't wait any longer and decided it was best to just go the two of us. Besides, I didn't even know if he remembered our promise, so I made up my mind to go alone. I didn't want to go out with someone who ignored me. It would be fun with just the two of us, I thought. "Daddy's mad about something, huh?" Polly seemed to sense something. "Really, I don't understand. Maybe he's just tired. Let's just go by ourselves tomorrow." "Yeah, I'm excited." Polly seemed happy, and I felt a bit relieved. We finished dinner and we were getting ready for bed when a message came on my phone. 1 penny per character. I was taken aback. It was a message from Evan. 1 penny per character? I didn't understand, but replied, "What are you talking about? By the way, Polly and I are going to the aquarium alone tomorrow." Then he replied, 25 characters, 25 cents. Can that be settled in dollar increments? I felt my face get hot with anger. Then a shocking photo followed. A picture of Evan with 2 men and 3 women. I was at a loss for words. A party? Then another message came. "I'm coming home now." Coming home? I thought. The door opened. I stepped out in my pajamas to see Evan. He staggered into the living room and fell asleep on the sofa. My anger was beyond control. I felt I had reached my limit. Despite telling him about the aquarium tomorrow, he was out drinking with a woman without any contact. I couldn't contain my anger as I thought about it. I decided to leave this house. That's what I decided. I couldn't believe he asked for money and then sent a picture from a party. It felt almost like infidelity. That's what I thought. I left Evan as he was and went to my room to pack my things. After packing, I called my friend Wendy, who lives on the floor below. "Sorry, can I stay over tonight?" "Now? At this hour?" Wendy sounded a bit perplexed. "It's okay though." "Thank you." I carefully wrapped sleeping Polly in a blanket, grabbed our things for tomorrow, and left the room. I glanced at Evan and saw a shocking sight. For some reason, I took a photo of it. Then carrying Polly, I quietly opened and closed the door to avoid making noise. I went downstairs and rang Wendy's doorbell. Wendy looked surprised when she opened the door. "What happened?" "Sorry, a lot has happened. Can Polly sleep first?" Wendy laid out a futon in one of the rooms for Polly. "What's going on? Tell me." I told her about Evan always ignoring me, asking for money, and sending a party photo. A party? Yeah, it makes no sense, right? I was confused as I talked. It really doesn't. Wendy looked puzzled. I feel like having a drink. I can't sleep, but tomorrow I'm going to the aquarium with Polly, so just one. Going to the aquarium? Okay, I understand. Wendy got a beer from the fridge and opened it for me. Thanks. Sure. I drank one can and fell asleep while venting. Wendy woke me up early in the morning. She had covered me with a blanket and let me sleep on the futon after I had fallen asleep. Sorry, I didn't realize I had fallen asleep. Thanks for the futon. I felt well rested. Maybe because I got all my complaints out. Hey, can I use your shower? Of course. I quickly showered and changed into the clothes I brought. I glanced at the clock. It was about time for Polly to wake up, so I hurried. After getting dressed, Polly woke up. He was surprised at first, but then smiled when he saw Wendy. Hey, it's Wendy. Long time no see, Polly. Their conversation was comforting. I can go to the aquarium with you and your mom today. Wendy gave me a knowing look. Really? Yay! I felt relieved that Wendy would be joining us. We got ready and arrived at the aquarium. Polly was very excited. Polly and Wendy ran ahead into the aquarium. Having Wendy there was truly a relief. She took care of Polly, allowing me to just watch them from behind. At the interactive section, Polly and Wendy laughed and had fun. After this section, Polly ran off to a tank. I said to Wendy, "Thank you, Wendy." Seeing my expression, Wendy replied, "It must have been tough. Don't worry, I'm having fun." Her words made my emotions well up. Yes, I had been through a lot. Tears welled up in my eyes. The date was wonderful. It felt like the first free day in a long time. We had a great day, forgetting about reality. We ate lunch at the aquarium, had dinner on the way back, and returned to Wendy's place. Polly fell asleep immediately. He must have been exhausted. That night we stayed at Wendy's place again. Sorry for the staying again. Sure, that's fine. I was really grateful to Wendy. Then how about we try the new drink at the cafe tomorrow? Oh, they have a new one? I hadn't enjoyed a cafe visit in a while. Yeah, I've tried it once. It's delicious. Wow, let's go. In this comfortable space, I had completely forgotten about Evan. The next morning, the three of us went to the cafe, ordered the new drink, and had a pleasant chat. Polly couldn't sit still for long, so we soon headed back to Wendy's place. I realized I could have fun even without Evan. That's what I was thinking. While eating cookies at Wendy's, the doorbell rang. Who could it be? Evan, maybe? I felt a bit tense. I'll check, I told Wendy, and looked at the doorbell camera. As expected, Evan was standing there. I slowly opened the door. Evan was standing there arrogantly and screamed at me. So, you were here after all. Don't just leave without saying anything. He was furious. Are you kidding me? No food at home, and I can't reach you on your phone. He was ranting with an angry expression. His words about the phone made me furious. Why would I reply when you're talking nonsense like charging a penny per character? I faced Evan squarely and said, It's not my fault. Why are you acting like the victim? Evan looked around, surprised. I had blocked all notifications from Evan. I even set my phone not to ring for his calls. I had completely forgotten about him while having fun with Wendy. Hearing the commotion, Wendy came out. I gestured to her that I was okay and tried to keep her from coming closer. But I could feel Wendy's presence behind me. I told Evan, It's your fault, isn't it? You blame Polly for your mistakes, and when I pointed out, you start ignoring me. Evan looked at me astonished. And then, the first thing you say after all this time is about charging per character. Don't joke around. Evan started to argue. That's because you get mad over unreasonable things. Who's being unreasonable? Of course Polly will step on a remote if you leave it on the floor. Evan started to quiet down. And ignoring Polly too? Unbelievable. Because Polly turned off the TV. I felt my face getting hot. So how many times do I have to tell you? It's your fault, and you ignored him because he turned it off. I was speaking with intense emotion. Don't be absurd. How old do you think Polly is? Evan, overwhelmed by my accusations, had nothing to say. Who's the child here? Ignoring someone when you don't like something? And this, what about this picture? Picture? I took out my phone and showed Evan the party picture. What's this? Evan looked pale. That guy sent it, didn't he? Later I found out it wasn't Evan who sent the picture, but one of his friends. It was an unfortunate picture for Evan, undoubtedly. What's this all about? I'm sorry. I demanded an answer. Sorry? I made up my mind, and told Evan, I'm divorcing you. I can't deal with you anymore. No, that's an overreaction. Evan was shocked and panicky. This is infidelity. I can't stay with someone like that. It's not infidelity. That's exaggerating. Evan was in a state of shock. And look at this. I showed another photo on my phone. It was a picture of Evan sleeping in the living room after he returned home nonchalantly following the party picture. Incredibly, Evan had wet himself. I had captured this shocking moment in the photo. I showed Wendy the photo. Oh, Wendy looked bewildered. Hey, stop it. Stop it. Evan was panicking. Also, maybe it's just me, but the other day when you yelled at Polly for smelling, that was you, wasn't it? Evan looked caught off guard. What? That day, Evan had woke up staggering. I found a lot of alcohol cans in the room and realized he'd been drinking heavily. And probably he was the one who had an accident, not Polly. Polly hadn't wet himself that day. I sighed when I told Wendy. I don't think I can be with him anymore, Wendy. Uh-oh? Evan was stuttering, unable to find words. Then Polly came over. Daddy? Hey, Polly. As Polly approached innocently. Polly, let's go wash your face first. Wendy took him away. Evan started. I'm sorry. I'm tired from work and everything. I apologize. That party picture, that wasn't me. I didn't know anything about it. He was clearly lying. Not you? That's different. Really. I'm sorry for ignoring you. And the money thing. Evan, begging, began to cry in front of me. I'll say it again. I can't do this anymore. Please. Let's divorce. Goodbye. I slammed the door. I ignored Evan shouting outside. It faded away, and everything was quiet. I felt so relieved after saying what I wanted. Back in the room. Are you okay with that? Wendy asked. Yes, I feel relieved. That's good then. Later, the divorce was finalized through a lawyer. I heard Evan had boasted. I have my wife under my thumb. She loves me so much, she won't mind this photo. At the party, his friends tried to stop him, but he was too drunk. The rumor of our divorce spread in his company, and everyone seemed to agree it was justified. Poor man. He must be uncomfortable at work. Well, it's only natural for ignoring someone for such a reason. He always made me feel lonely. No one would understand such behavior. I was worried about managing alone with Polly after the divorce. But now my parents come over and help. They visit almost every day, which is a big relief. My parents say, we enjoy it, so it's fine. Polly is happy being with them, always smiling. Leaving him was the right choice. I couldn't relax with him around. Felt like I wasn't even home. Honestly, his ignoring had happened before. I had reached my limit. Deciding to divorce was the right decision. Life is manageable now. I'm determined to do my best for Polly's smile. With that resolve, I head to work with a smile.